the vegetable garden is growing crazy right now. And so my potatoes, my tomatoes, the peppers, they're all actively growing. The onions, they're all growing. And I got my first tomatoes starting on the vine. I haven't picked one yet, but it's starting. It's my patio tomatoes. That's what you got to love about patio tomatoes. They stay shorter, they produce heavy and sooner. And so I've got my first fruit. So probably another 2 weeks, I'll be on the radio kind of going, it was so good. How was your tomatoes? How are they doing? So that's good. My potatoes, I grow my potatoes in buckets. I've got two large, squat 15-gallon containers. And I start them by just having my seed potatoes at the bottom. And as they elongate, as they grow up, as the vine starts growing, you want to backfill that vine. And the longer that vine is, the longer that potato top grows, the more potatoes you're going to have growing up and down that stem. So potatoes grow off of the potato vine. And that's why they always plant them in a trench. And then as they grow, they backfill them and they finally end up on a mound. And so they've got a real deep, they'll have 2-3 feet of vine growing up with potatoes coming off of that. Okay, that's good. It's harder to harvest when they're in the garden like that. For me, this is what I do. So my name's Ken. We're just friends. We're talking over the back fence, and this is working for me. I think it's going to work in your gardens too. Potatoes are really easy in a basket or container or big plastic pot. That's what I do. I just plant them at the bottom, and as they grow, I'm backfilling with potting soil. So I had to add quite a bit of extra soil around my potatoes this week, because they were just growing so fast. It's hard to keep up sometimes. If you blink, they just take over, and then you missed it. And so you want to, as it grows, you backfill with soil, and I'll go to the top of the pot, and then I'll just let it go. Then the more foliage it has at the top of that mound or the top of that container, the top of, the more foliage you have, the more sugar creating photosynthesis, the more potatoes is going to create up and down that stem. And what you'll find is you harvest those. So I'll dump those out in September, October, November, December, through the autumn. I'll let them just store there in the soil, and I'll pick them as I want them. But I just dump that entire bucket out, and I'll have 20, 30, 40 potatoes out of this one bucket. I mean, literally, you'll have 50 pounds of potatoes sitting there, fresh from the gardens. And I'm not growing the basic, russet potatoes. Okay, they're good. They're really good fresh. Like my mouth just watered. I must be hungry. I'm growing the purple ones or the reds, the things that are harder to find that are just super sweet or very unusual. So I've got one bucket of red potatoes and one bucket of purple potatoes. And so I can't wait for them to produce this late summer and fall. It's going to be exciting. That's one. Bring the grandkids over. Should just dump them out and go, look, guys, look, kids, here, look at all the potatoes. Whoop. You throw them out on a tarp or on the patio, and they're going, whoa, Grandpa, you are the man. I can't believe it. So it's kind of fun. Anyway, it's exciting. So we can teach the next generation to appreciate nature, outdoors, fresh air, gardening, fresh from simply by engaging them and including them and planning for them. So I actually planned some things. I grow potatoes and giant pumpkins just for the grandkids because for me, mainly just for me, but then also it's an easy connect for them. Because if you can, hey kids, let's go pick a pumpkin, and they get to pick a 50, 60, 80 pound. It takes a wheelbarrow to get it up to the front door and show it off. That's awe-inspiring to a kid. Yeah, the grocery store is great with a little 10-pound pumpkin. But you get something that's 5 times the size by growing a giant pumpkin. That's a connection that you can have generationally with the kids. So I'm called Garden Guy in our household, and I've got a couple grandkids. They're Garden Guy juniors. They just whenever they're over visiting, we go garden, hang around, and just look at butterflies. We pick things and try them out, and and just try them out. It's fun. It's great. We'll pick blackberries until our face is just black. Our hands are just dark. It's got to drive their mother crazy. We'll pick grapes until we are absolutely sick. Oh, we just can't eat anymore. The grapes actually started this week forming their little clusters. So they've been elongating. They've been throwing their foliage out. All week it's finally warm enough so the grapes can now start to form their small clusters. And so it's critical to get the watering right when they start doing that. So when things start to flower or fruit, they want to be consistent moisture. So usually in the morning, a deep soak, 2 or 3 times a week for a grape is probably good. And it will be happy. You'll look at these great big clusters of red, purple, green grapes that are so delicious. Things taste better straight from the garden. That's it for this segment. Got Lisa Waters coming back, showing off her segment right after this.